Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Rao Kulusu opening my room on burnout solutions and also discuss about uh, towards wellness-oriented health systems. What my perspective was. Uh, Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be discussing the status of the COVID variant now and whatever I have been following, I'll share with you. And also, we will talk about a new room I opened on the Wisdom app regarding uh, regarding our uh, ongoing topic of towards wellness-oriented health systems, and anybody on the Instagram or on the Clubhouse, as I'm simulcasting on the Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and also not Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And anybody is welcome to come and participate. That way, I can have an ongoing conversation. I would like to have a conversation rather than talking ad lib. That's okay too. So about the new variant, the news came up. Four more states in United States, apart from California, the showed cases today. So it's now in five. Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and the two other states. California is already one reported. I don't know the details of those cases, but we will follow them tonight, and maybe tomorrow morning we'll know more about that. Otherwise, the I was listening to WHO's interview of Mike Ryan and also Maria, who is the technical lead, and they both were talking about how the we have to reinforce the mitigation efforts of wearing the mask and not spending in a crowd, and also not really shaking hands, and also taking the vaccines. They were emphasizing that to be done, and it has to be taken much more serious now because this particular variant is very highly transmissible. But whether it is going to cause real clinical problems, we don't know yet. But the initial uh, occurrence in South Africa was among the university students who were healthy, and but then 10% of them really kids. Hospitalizations have increased now though, and they are having a different kind of symptoms. Some of them have chest symptoms, some of them have GA symptoms too. They are a little different than the Delta, but still Delta is really overwhelming hospitals, overwhelming the system. So that is epidemic is going on, and they are prepared for the fourth wave now. But they're not panicking or anything, but they are saying mitigation efforts and also the vaccinations. So if anybody has any particular questions, if I know answers to them, I will respond about the status of the pandemic and what is happening among the country. I do keep a surveillance attitude about this pandemic to the entire world, and whatever I know, I kind of share, and also I learn from other people sharing them too. So we can participate in several rooms in the clubhouse, and also I do my own rooms. I used to do a COVID coping skills room for a long time, but of late I have switched to the nighttime room, and we can also talk here too. So anything else, you please come up and talk to me, or on the Instagram you can come live and talk, or you can put a question in the comments, the same other channels too. Now, this room we have opened mainly because we wanted to discuss solutions of the burnout from our modern lifestyle, basically concentrating on the pillars of wellness, of food, activity, rest and sleep, and also thoughts, information overload and all that. I plan to talk about these things as much as you want, and then if you have questions about them, you can also come and make your comments or share your whatever what you have. basically, I feel in United States, especially, it's all illness-oriented health systems. When you get sick, then like me also, if you get sick and come to my clinic, I will treat you for the pneumonia or the whatever infection, whatever metabolic problem, whatever you had, we will do that. But my focus has always been how to really prevent these things or improve outcomes. If you have a disease, how can we improve your outcome? That was my focus from the beginning. So if you can do that, that will be good for you in the long run, and then you can always always prevent a lot of uh, money expense, or your own physical well-being will be better, and also you don't have to lose time for the work and enjoyment of your life, lots of things. So it doesn't matter, even if a very old person, to their level, we can improve their kind of quality of life a little bit. That's how I concentrate all the time. And now I have established this company, which is BAPAL, which is a combination of modern medicine and ancient wisdom to improve our lifestyles. Not that we have to dump everything, but to understand what is that we can do at home, on an individual level, at the family level, community level, and also government level. How can we enhance wellness in our life? Can we improve the quality of food we eat? Can we improve the toxins that are being sprayed on the food can be avoided? Can we improve our activity? Can we go and walk? Can we exercise? Can we move? Can we improve our quality of life, in the sense of sleep? If you can improve the quality of sleep, your body and mind will be nurtured better, and then you'll come out ahead after you sleep, right? But a lot of people don't think sleep is that important, and also they don't allow their natural system to help them to sleep better. That means they take the sleeping medications or wine or something like that, which is really not good on your reticular activating system in the long run, and then you lose your natural cycle. It's very difficult to get it back. I was shocked to see some of these young people are using melatonin now, you know, but then spend a lot of time at night time, night exams and all that. Once in a while, it's okay. But if you allow the system to lose its natural rhythms, you're going to pay for it down the line. A lot of people, when they're elderly, they cannot sleep without those medications, which is really bad. I practicing what I'm telling about, because I don't take any I never took any sleeping pill, and then I just sleep very well. And also, even if I have a lot of things going on outside, I have managed to keep them out of my mind during the sleep. Before sleep, I kind of put it away, and then I put the devices 1 hour before, and then I kind of wash my mind, like, take off all the thoughts, all the reactions, everything that has. There's a method you can do. And in the morning when I get up also, I have a lot of energy, no matter how the outward I may have crisis in the family, crisis in the clinic. So many things happen, right? Even at the time, I was able to remain stable, be cool, and really think about the solutions for the problems rather than just getting panicky, and then that way getting neurotic and all that. So there is a way we can manage this, provided we allow our natural body rhythm. For example, hunger. If you go on eating all day, then you're going to kill that cycle. But if you eat when you're really hungry, that's the way to do it, and then you can assimilate so better that way. So that kind of common sensical thing, people don't do it anymore because they are not trained probably. I'm not saying everybody, but the people that come to me sometimes as the patients, they have this problem. They are insomniacs. They cannot sleep for long enough time, deep enough time. They get awakened in the night, and then they will tossing and turning all night, and then when they get up in the morning, they are completely exhausted. That kind of thing I'm talking about. And people don't have commitment for regular, vigorous exercise. That's also very important, right? Not only to keep our health and all that, keep the arthritis away, keep the diabetes away, keep the hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol, and all those things. So your blood pressure goes down if regularly you are doing exercise. I myself partial to yoga because I have been doing that. I know the intricacies of it, but I encourage whatever you really like. Like you could like maybe running, maybe playing a game, tennis. Be active. That's what it is. Move the body, be active, and also eat properly, sleep properly, and then keep your mind clear. These are the four pillars I always talk about. So anybody has questions on that, they can send me messages and then I'll be happy. Or you can come and consult me. There are people consulting me because they have migraines long term, they have anxiety, they have back pain, they have all those things. I was trying to tell them, apart from the medical care, I usually tell them about their lifestyles. That is the purpose of these kind of rooms. But I cannot treat people medically online. I don't want to also because we have to take a lot of history, examine the patient. What I want to talk to people about is general things like, suppose they have not selecting correct diets and they want to talk about it. What about non-vegetarian? What about vegetarian? What about vegan? I was in a room just now, and that was a yummy vegan. I think a very nice title. But then they are vegans. They don't even eat milk and all the products of that cheese. They don't eat any of that. But then I was able to tell them some things about if you make a diet that is light, that's basically fruits and vegetables, and you can also meditate much more deeply. That quality of food affects your alertness. So if you are alert and aware, you can slip into those kind of deeper states of meditation much easier. So that was my contribution to them. But then it all depends on how deep you want to go in that. Okay? So all that kind of awareness of what kind of bioenergies are there in the diet. In yoga, three types of energies are. One is dull, another one is very restless, and then in between energy. So you want to be in the in between. You don't want to be restless. You don't want to be dull. You want to be more like that. Okay? Somebody wants to come up on this. Let's see. Um, okay, Abhishek. Kashyap. Okay. Yeah. I kind of sent you. It's okay. Yeah. So I accepted you, Abhishek, to come up. Okay. Anyway. So I think Marcella is here. Whether she wants to come up talk, we'll see. Um, so those four pillars, if you really go into the details of it, most of the time that happens, and then people can. Uh, okay. Hi, Marcella. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You see, I'm talking to people about the four pillars of wellness, which is the which is the which is the food, activity, and rest and sleep, and also the accepting you, Abhishek. He wants to come up and talk on the Instagram live. So I was, yeah, hi, Abhishek. How are you? Yeah, how are you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a guruji. I'm just a physician and somebody who tries to share what I know about lifestyles so that I can improve people's lifestyles. Okay. But I'm deep into the yoga and other things that help me. And I'm 66-year-old, but I don't have any medication. So I really help people to understand that. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Ashish. Yeah, okay, very good. Okay. So you have a okay. Working in Jaipur, yes. Okay. Yeah, Jaipur is a wonderful town. I came there in 2014. Marcel, Jaipur is a pink city. It's a city of the princess. It's a wonderful place to go. Went there. They had these magnificent palaces, real palace, and they converted into like a seven-star hotels. They are that good,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was very nice. And my daughter was about um, 16, 17 at the time. And we dressed her up like a princess and we put her in that palace and we took all the books for her yearbook. They came out wonderfully well. I wish I could show them, but yeah, we had in three different. I forgot the pink something. Three. They're wonderful palaces, beautiful hotels. And we were able. Yeah, yeah. I don't know the names. I forgot, but they were very very nice ones. And we stayed there for I think almost 3 days or 4 days. And Marcella, what they do when you go there, they come and receive you as though you are royalty. So they bow to you. And yeah, they bow to you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing is, they kind of give you petals of rose, and then they give you a garland, and they give you wonderful things. They make you feel really wanted, and then hospitality is very good, and the food was great. They have such a spread in the morning. We are not big eaters, but then we tasted several things. That was wonderful. And the palace, one palace is in the middle of huge body of lake, and if you go there, the whole palace is made of marble, marble or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, it was my dream all the time. I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to see the palace and all that for a long time. So when I went there, the experience really blew me away. It was very, very nice. So, have you heard about Jaipur, Marcel? You know?
No, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah. You see, yeah. I was brought up in the southern India. This Jaipur is in the North India. When I was in India, I could never go there. But this time I went there because there was a special place. It's called Mount Abu in Rajasthan. We wanted to visit there, but we always wanted to go to Jaipur. It's called Pink City because a lot of buildings in that are painted pink, and they're really wonderful to see them. Anyway, are you living in the Jaipur now, Abhishek? Okay, okay, very good, very good. You have any question or a comment? What? What? Oh yeah, breakfast. Oh yeah, sure, sure. Usually breakfast should be the main meal. That the formula I give to my people who are struggling with weight, the patients. I tell them have a good breakfast and move all day and work it out, and then have a light lunch and then very light dinner. That should be the formula to lose weight. But lots of it, what happens in America with our family and other people also, they don't take a good breakfast because they say, I don't have an appetite, right? And then they take a very maybe negligent, maybe cereal or something like that, and then they go away and then lunch usually at work, whatever they can get, they may not get the time, and they will eat something, and then they come home famished lots of times and eat a very heavy dinner and then sleep. So for the morning, all things should be considered, Abhishek. What you want to do is fruits and vegetables and nuts and milk. Those are standard nutritious diet. But if you have to eat meat and you eat meat, or maybe an omelette, maybe a lean meat, something like that will be. It's up to you. But I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat. But individual people's choice, right? But wholesome food, all groups of foods, some grains, some like a, here we have toast and all that, or you can have an omelette with it, or you can have slices of meat that people eat. But the main meal should be morning. How you can have that is, suppose you get up in the morning and you have vigorous exercise, which is a very good thing, and also it gives you a good appetite. You know, once you work up the appetite, go and eat the good breakfast, and then go, and then don't eat any snacks in between. Not too much, maybe slow. But a lot of people eat snacks all day, chips or whatever they get, they will eat, and that's not a good idea. So because your system in there, kind of working on it all the time, right? So if you allow it, it will digest the food, and then once it moves to the large intestine, then again you will get hungry at the right time. So that is how that is called diurnal rhythm. First, you eat, and then all that is digested, and then elimination, and then juices flow too. That's when you want to eat. That is when you can assimilate the food and absorb it and convert it into energy. So that is the natural rhythms that the body has provided. People, the same with the sleep too. I was talking about it earlier. So these rhythms, you want to keep them as long as you have. Yoga can stimulate the appetite also. Can also stimulate a lot of good metabolic energy that can digest your food much better. Okay, so have a good breakfast, and then most of the uh, foods or groups you have to eat that day, and then have a nice lunch, not like a big lunch, but a moderate lunch. And then for the dinner, when you come home, you shouldn't eat much. You can eat between 6 to 7, and then give 2 hours time for the gut to act, and then rest of the hours it will prepare the bowel for elimination of waste products. So if you maintain this cycle, you don't need to work for the obesity and all of that. You will be naturally slim and energetic. And you have to move around, you see, lots of times. So what do you think, Marcella? Is that a formula? Let's involve Marcella. She is here on the clubhouse. I want to see what she thinks about this.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I was just wondering a little more about, do
Yeah.
you think that, like for me, for example, like I'm not really hungry in the morning, like how you had mentioned that some people do
Yeah.
mention,
Yeah.
but would you say that once you start doing that cycle that,
Yeah. It comes back.
then you'll become hungry in the morning?
Yeah, yeah, it comes back because we got used to this routine of late nights or eating late. Then it doesn't have the time to really digest this completely, and then people get up in the morning and then they are not really pumped up and all of that too. So that's why a lot of people get into this habit unknowingly. They don't want to do it, but they get into that. So what you want to do is, you want to get up a little early and start doing some vigorous exercise. I kind of do this at 6 o'clock my central time in the morning, and my friends are joining me and they are doing with me. I'm on live on Instagram, live on all the other channels too. So you can come there and see and do it too. Some of the things I do are very, very simple. Anybody with any kind of body shape or age can do them at their own pace, and then they can really stimulate the appetite. you know and once you got to the routine, slowly it will come back to it. Um, and don't have any of the snacks. Maybe fluids are better during the day, and have the lunch at the time. You can have fluids too, and then in the evening also, when you come home, you can have a drink and all that if you're used to that. Otherwise, you can just drink. I'm more like a fruit juicer or water. Actually, that has got lot of potentiality to lose weight if you drink enough water. You see, I, yes, here too. Yeah. Mm. So uh, you can work up your appetite, Marcel. So provided you know how to stimulate the metabolism by doing some exercises, some stretches, and all that. Uh, during the day, if you are moving around, if you are not sitting that much, and then you do some minor walking, the formula that we give to patients is 150 minutes in a week. That means 30 minutes a day. Suppose you get up and then you don't have a lot of time to do 10 minutes of walking, and then also make 10 minutes before you go to lunch and 10 minutes before dinner, and that will be a good formula, and then you can increase the time later on. And even the 10 minutes also, if you have a treadmill, that's ideal. If you don't have it, have long strides when you're walking, and also if you have stairs, use them 3 or 4 times. You come and down, up and down. That is good enough. Do you do exercise, Marcella?
To be honest, I've kind of fallen really short of that. I'm in medical school right now,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I've kind of
yeah,
been resorting to not really exercising as much as I should.
yeah.
But
I, I,
yeah,
I, yeah, I have a formula for you. What you do is you kind of incorporate this exercise in your studies or school or college, whatever you're doing, or your work, you can incorporate. This is the formula I always use with busy doctors and nurses, because I don't want them to make separate time away from their work to do it, because they will never do it. But especially some people have night duties and all that, they won't do, and then that's why they are burning out. So one other thing I tell them is, okay, you're going to the place of building work where, or study, whatever you're doing, park your car away from that. If road conditions are good and then warm and all that, park it away from that and walk to the building. Okay, that's one opportunity you can create for yourself to walk more, right? And then don't take the elevator at all during the day. Take the at least couple of stairs up the stairs. If it is like 20 floors, you can add, but at least couple of stairs. And if you have a long corridor in the office or where, try to walk 1 or 2 times like that. You know, those kind of simple things will help your body to move. Basically, you have to move the body. Don't rest it. Don't get used to the creature comforts. That is the problem with the modern civilization. Is we teach people to have this creature comforts. Sit in the sofa, slumped up, and also play with the games on the phone. These are what we are teaching kids. That's not good at all. Correct posture, lack of. If you sit on a foam chair, what happens is it's called a counter coup effect. You know what it is? If you are sitting on a concrete, and the concrete also pushes you up, that's why the people who sit on the floor, they can sit for a long time. Whereas the people who sit in a soft cushions, they may experience comfort, but you are losing a lot in your body intelligence by that. I'm not crazy. It's
so
really.
you said,
Yeah,
sorry, sorry.
go ahead,
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say, so you suggest sitting on the floor is better than sitting on cushions?
Oh yeah, definitely. But we lost it. So at least practice like half an hour a day. Sit and see what happens in the floor. Or
Is your back against the wall when you do that?
yeah,
Because sometimes I feel like, okay,
yeah, because that's very important. Keeping the bar. Like I'm sitting in the chair now because I have to be in the front of camera and all that. But I moved all day, right? Anyway, but when I'm sitting, I'm sitting my back erect. That's a very important thing for us in so many ways. Even the abdominal organs, when you sit like that, they won't smash up on each other. But when you slump down, that's what happens. So intricate details of that, if you take it on over the long period of time, they have their own effect. So the people who always sit straight, the posture, we teach for the models, we teach for the film stars and all, because they have to appear physically good, right? But a lot of people also can practice them. So nobody need to do anything with you, and you can just practice and you will be fine. So all you do is create opportunities during the work. to be more physical, more active. Okay. Something I teach everybody is, suppose you are a student, you are sitting at the chair all the time. There is what's called office yoga that I teach, that focuses on your limbs and on your neck and on your back too. Uh, it is there on my Instagram. If you can find it, you can see it and see what you think about it. So very simple things that I teach. If you can do them while you are accumulating stress. See, if you don't do any of these things, then you will accumulate stress because you are teaching bad habits to the body, bad habits to the mind. So all I'm saying is be alert and intelligent and focus on what is happening to your body, what's happening to your mind, and correct them as they're happening during the day. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And then lot of people I taught, even the doctors, they don't pay attention to what they are doing to their body and then mind. When I find that out, yeah, but it's difficult to remember. So all you want to do is you want to have a cue, something like writing on a paper, or maybe Apple Watch can give you a reminder, something like that. You know what I used to do, which is now I don't have to do because I'm always in the awareness anyway. So I used to have it timed every 1 hour for 1 minute. There is a breathe program on the Apple Watch. I used to switch it on, and a flower comes staring at you, and then flower opens fast, and then it kind of goes back to. So when it opens, take a deep breath. When it goes back, you kind of breathe. It will do slow opening, slow closing, right? That will be like 8 to 10 times you'll be doing the breathing. But when you're doing that, I ask them, don't think of anything else. Just focus on the breathing only. Sit down privately, keep your back straight, and do the breathing. That relaxes you. That also brings you back to the present state I teach in the morning. So you are there for that 1 hour, you kind of cultivated that. When you go, you don't react. You'll be responding to things that are happening to you. There is a deeper science there too. That is the stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the vagus nervous system. That is very relaxing for you. You know. So, Shraddha, welcome. How are you?
Namaste, Dr. G.
Namaste, namaste. How
I'm
are you?
good.
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments?
Yeah, I was just listening to.
Yeah.
Actually, I normally always prefer sitting on on my yoga mat, even like during daytime
Yeah.
if I'm doing anything to my laptop
I know.
or anything.
I know you are a yoga practitioner, so you know what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. How do you feel after that?
I mean that is my favorite. Way of
Yeah.
sitting basically.
Exactly, exactly. See,
So
we lose that very quickly, Shraddha, especially if you are living in the United States. This furniture has to be re-engineered. There is a science you may be familiar with. It's called ergonomics. You know, when
yeah,
we kind of improve our furniture, how we sit on it, how we stand with it, and all that. I deliberately devise ergonomic keyboards. I mean, devise in sense, I devise the workspace for my assistants. I don't make them; I buy them, and then design the workspace so that people's wrists are protected because they don't have the carpal tunnel, and also back is protected because they don't have the back pain and all that, and also their neck is protected because I want them to place the computer at a level where I can look at the computer screen at a shoulder level, right? And that's good. Otherwise, cervical spondylitis. A lot of people bend their neck and then look at the phone all the time, and they are developing neck pain quite a bit. So just designing the furniture that we buy for the staff really helped them too because they don't have to put up with this, and then they learn all these things while I'm working with them and I'm teaching my patients and all that, right? So they take it up sometimes, and then if they don't, I don't force them, but usually they take it up. And then people who used to smoke, the girls who came to work for me, they quit because I was always telling the patients not to smoke, right? So they have to be an example of that, and then they did that lots of times. I never smoked, so I'm a good role model that way. So they used to see that, and then I'm very proud of them when they quit it. So that kind of. So any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I mean, normally I even prefer like sleeping on floor as in like I mean, of course, like with the probably a small carpet kind of thing, a rug kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and on top of it I have this my bed sheet, and that's how I sleep.
yeah. That's
So like,
actually very good for the low back pain people too. You must be a very young girl. It's a good thing that you are not losing that habit. But
yeah, but
yeah. See, lot
the
of
thing is like
yeah.
few days back, like 4 5 days back, I mean, I'm used to not having a pillow or very like thin pillow, but
Mm.
that day somehow like I used a cushion kind of for my head. I was sitting and then I thought of sleeping and I just slept kind of. And then normally I'm a back sleeper, so I normally sleep on my back. But and sometimes like I'll probably sleep like my right shoulder is down, kind of. My left side is up because before sleeping, sometimes I use that like
Yeah,
inhaling and exhaling from the left nostril to get into the
yeah,
parasympathetic mode,
yeah, yeah.
basically.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, but that day I don't know. I mean, somehow I slept on my other shoulder, and probably because I mean, since it's cold in East Coast,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I mean, morning I got up with like I mean, it's kind of a catch kind of thing. I don't know exactly what, but like I cannot lift my shoulder. I mean, my hand up, my left hand completely up, kind of.
Yeah.
It's
Because
it has got better a little bit,
yeah,
but has not gone completely. Like I mean, I read a couple of things, and according to whatever I have studied, I know like it will take like 4 5 days, and I did Kapalbhati and all to get rid of little bit of pain and all those things. It has got better, but
there
I don't
is
know. Like
a
I mean, that's why like I messaged you that do you know anything like or
yeah,
do you had any session on this that I
yeah.
can follow?
This is a micro yoga I did for somebody, Shraddha. What it is once you know the physical structure of the muscle that is affected, because as physicians we know about those things, right? So in yoga you can direct to those muscles with simple exercises. Um, did you come to my session? Do you know when it happens? In the morning?
Uh, no,
Okay.
no. Because normally mornings are pretty busy, so I mean,
Okay.
in fact, I was thinking of coming for the session, but I couldn't make time for
No,
it.
no. What I will do is tomorrow I will remember you and I will do that shoulder specific exercises. Okay. I'm going to mention that one of our friends came up and she wanted to do it, and then I will do the shoulder sequence for you. Okay. You don't have to be there
Okay.
because you can go to my Instagram and see the recording whenever you want.
Oh, that will be awesome.
Yeah, I do that every day. I
Thank
kind
you
of
so much.
yeah, only maybe 10 people will come in the morning. I know people cannot get up, so I leave the recording on there. And a lot of people see it afterwards and they send me thanks or whatever, or they just put on the story. That's how I come to know that they see and do it. Actually, that was the purpose intended because I have different people follow me, different countries too, different time zones too. So I thought I will just do it because I need that in 6 to 7 anyway. Ever since I started to doing this for my friends, actually I do a very light form of yoga. I don't do the severe form of yoga that I can do because I don't know how they are doing. And some people come on the Zoom later to talk to me, about their own personal needs and all that. That's also okay because but that too, you have to register and you have to ask me for the link. Then only after the Zoom link. But this morning, I do it on the Instagram and also Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all live. Okay, everything is recorded, so you can view it if you want. Okay, I will do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I'll have a look like tomorrow, probably like late after, late
Yeah,
morning, kind of,
yeah,
like once I'm done with my morning rituals.
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
will be really great. Thank you so much.
Do you follow me on the Instagram? Shraddha?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
follow you on Instagram.
Then you can see that it will be there.
Yeah, I mean that because like when I messaged you and you said I just went through like but it was difficult to find because there are
Yeah.
because I guess probably you have your session every day. So going
Yeah.
through all the session was very difficult like to
Yeah.
find out specific thing.
I think there are 160 sessions are there just for the yoga, and then there are different
Yeah,
varieties are there. I mean, different people call me for different things. What happened with this friend of mine? She was a pediatrician. Actually, she was I think in the 50s or something, and we were working on a room or something about. I was talking about something, and she mentioned that to me. Then I said, "Okay, I will show you micro yoga. You can get this shoulder function back." What happened to her was she had this rotator cuff injury. So she went and had a surgery done on that. Sometimes shoulder movement is very difficult to get it back. And that's why I wanted to do help her that way. Even though she was going to the physical therapy, she was not getting the fibrosis loosen up. After I made her do those exercises for the shoulders, then she was very sincere about practicing. I told her practice those exercises only 3 times a day. And she did that in a couple of weeks. All her fibrosis is gone, and her physical therapist was very amazed about it. So I can teach the technique, but you got to adapt and do it. Daily. I'm sure you will do it, but you are already a yoga practitioner. But a lot of people don't have that kind of discipline. That's why I'm mentioning it's very important that you do that till you get the function back completely. I have
yeah. I
access.
mean
Yeah,
yeah, doing it every day is very
yeah,
important.
yeah. That's very important. And then do it to your comfort. Don't push it. But do regularly. But do it. Some days you may do more. Some days you may do less. That's fine. Swadhyaya. Study your
Yeah,
own.
listen to your body and do
Yeah,
accordingly kind of
yeah, yeah.
basically.
I'm very big
Every
on
day is
that.
a
Yeah, I'm very big on that because I tell everybody, listen to it, but they don't understand. I just pay attention, just be with it, and then breathe it very slowly. If you have some pain, don't do it too much. Leave it alone. If it requires more rotations, and then still the stiffness is there, then do more rotations. That kind of thing. I'm telling for other people's sake. I know that you know about it. Um, uh, and then report to me and tell me what was going on. Then we can modify. I can tell you what else you can do. Okay. This
sure.
Yeah. This is going to be.
I'll definitely
Yeah.
do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. This.
Doctor, I had to drop off because I have another session
That's
of
fine.
Bhagavad Gita.
That's fine, Shraddha.
So I'll catch up with you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
I'll
again.
mention your name so that you can make sure that from
Sure,
there
sure.
the segment is for you. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Bye. Abhishek, uh, back here. Huh? Very good.
Yes, because it's easy for
Yeah. It's easy to talk on this.
so yeah, I having some question regarding the milk. Basically, I have been option here for three type of milk, like cow milk, sheep milk,
Yeah.
and also the goat milk.
Yeah.
So generally, morning I have take the raw sheep milk because
Okay.
I made the accident.
Mm.
Someone told that if you take the sheep milk, it will be joined very quickly.
Mm.
So from last 2 months, I have been continue drinking. I have been continue drinking sheep milk, but raw, not boiled. So
Mm.
can you advise about this? I feel this is a very heavy, means a very
Yeah.
thick milk, and I do not feel any problem like the loose motion, something like that.
Yeah.
Generally, it is happening if you drink the raw, then loose motion happen
Yeah.
starting time.
Yeah.
So can you advise which?
Yeah.
I have to
Usually, what it
prefer?
is denaturing of the lactase. That is why it is warmed up, and then people also raw milk not pasteurized is also cause problems to certain people. But if you are okay with it after drinking, I think you are okay, Abhishek, and then you can continue that. But some people exhibit after a few months of drinking too. So you can change the microbiome in the gut by drinking milk products. So milk or milk products. So you got to, if your system is responding okay, probably you got to adjust to that. You're okay. So continue.
So
Yeah.
so please advise, because what happened, the milk is original milk. When I'm going, then they are taking from there. Otherwise, they are not taking from safes.
Ah.
Same thing happening with the goat also.
Ah.
Goat having the customer for goat, so they are daily taking, and also without injection. They having we also having the cow milk option. So please advise which one is better, or what time I need to take, morning or night? What time I need?
See, it all depends upon how your system is agreeing to that milk, and also is that pasteurized or not, is it made warm or not. These are things we consider. Unless you have allergy to certain lactose intolerance, something like that, then we will change it. Otherwise, nutrition wise, they should be the same. They should not be that different. It's a question of how you tolerate those milks. That's all. Then you can. It's a matter. In India, I think they don't have the ingredients marked on the bags, right? They don't, right? You're taking fresh from the cow, like. So it's very difficult to determine the quality of it, because these here, it goes through the processing, and then they make sure the quality is there, and they also declare on the can of the milk what are the ingredients of the milk. You know, then we know. Suppose you are allergic to a certain kind of thing, we advise not to take them. Then you can read the label and avoid it. Otherwise, if you are drinking in the form, like a lot of people drink this in the farm here, but there are few people are doing the farming now. Only very few percent, maybe less than 1% of the population will do that. But the people who work in the farm, they are usually very sturdy because they do all these natural things. Yeah, it's not a big deal to Abhishek. If you are comfortable with one milk, stay with it. You know.
And I having also one question regarding aloe vera is easily available here. Even the 20 rupees we can get the one glass aloe vera. So because
Yeah.
nowadays the winter season is there.
Yeah.
So what happens generally, I have seen the people are drinking aloe vera plus beetroots, and they also beetroots, both are mixes.
Yeah.
So can you advise about that?
Yeah, they are both of the very powerful foods. You can take them because beetroot especially builds up your iron and very good for anemia, and aloe vera multiple effects. So if you are any of these foods, if you are not allergic, they are very good for your immune system also. So you can take them.
Yeah, I having one issue when I take the beetroot morning,
Mm.
then full day I do not feel hungry.
Yeah, they are very heavy foods. Yeah, but beetroot also can be cut into small pieces and then help yourself half a cup in the morning, half a cup in the evening. That may be better. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, very simple. I think my mom used to cut those into small pieces and put some kind of a light masala on that. That becomes a very tasty one to eat. You know. So she used to bring it to us right after we come from the morning exercise. She used to bring those small cups. We used to eat that along with the chana. That
Yeah.
also is there. That's a source of protein for
Yeah,
us.
10 to 12 years I was in Chennai, so daily beetroots I
Yeah,
eat. They're very tasty because after frying and boiling, the taste is really fantastic.
yeah, yeah,
Raw is difficult.
yeah. So,
These are my
Jimmy and
questions.
Cindy, you have any questions? You want to come up and you can raise your hands. I'll bring you up and then we can talk. Um, yeah, I think Cindy has some. Let's bring her up. Okay. Hi, Cindy. How are you?
Greetings. Hello.
Hi.
Dr. Rao, I just always love the wisdom you impart. And I happened onto this room.
Yeah.
It seems to me that Clubhouse has been going through some changes.
Yeah.
And I missed a lot of my favorite rooms.
Yeah.
So tonight I was just looking for speakers that I resonate with, and your name came up. So I popped into the room. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm sure you have something of value that I would appreciate. So thank you for allowing me into your room.
Let me set up the room for you, Cindy. This is a room I do every day. Now it has been going on for 2, 3 months now, but I don't advertise that much. I just schedule it and come up here, and whoever comes, I talk to them. Sometimes people come, but there are more people on the um, Instagram and also other channels live too. So I just talk about things, mainly the burnout solutions from ancient wisdom. That's what I was doing because I want to help people who are burning out and then maybe help them to change their lifestyles and learn some skills of how to take care of themselves. So I was addressing at one time, we did one topic at a day: food, activity, sleep, and all the stress and all that. Right? And then I have been continuing it. People come, but then sometimes they go deeper for the question. Even one person asks that will take like a 20, 30 minutes. I don't mind talking about it. We do talk about it, and then they come with more questions. And sometimes there will be more people here, and then sometimes not. But the few people only ask questions, and then the whole discussion for everybody else. So I intend to continue this every day, so that today morning I heard a lot of news on the COVID, the new variant. So initially I shared that information to whoever listened to it. And then individual questions. People had questions about a breakfast, how much you eat, and all that. And we also talked about how to incorporate exercise in the work routine. And then we are talking about individual food products. Abhishek had questions about the milk and aloe vera and also beetroot. So we were talking about like that. And the other things also, somebody came and said the shoulder pain. I was going to do a yoga routine in the yoga session for us tomorrow, so that she can take the recording and do it later because that morning time is inconvenient for her. So that's why I leave the recording there so that people can pick it up and see it later and do it at their convenient time. And people appreciate that. So I've been doing that for so many. I think 160 episodes happened so far, Cindy. So
Well, I would like to say that that is most generous of you.
yeah,
And I, for one, am appreciative.
yeah,
I have been a long time yogini. Yoga has, and
excellent,
meditation,
excellent.
and eating well has gotten me through this
Yeah,
incredibly bizarre time.
yeah,
And I think for me, I always look for what the blessing is,
mm,
because most of the time we take on the hardship and we take on the pain and the immediate reaction.
yeah,
But I think that if we leave room for the blessing,
yeah,
it will reveal
yes,
itself. And for me, when in my lifetime, when in your lifetime
yeah,
would we have a conversation,
yeah, sure.
realistically speaking?
Yeah,
And I think that from me, from my perspective, Clubhouse has been a blessing,
yeah,
because it allowed a lot of us to have a voice and to have an exchange with adults, with other people, without the fear or the worry
yeah,
about communication of a disease, right?
yeah,
Um, and then it kind of feels like it's gone to a point of refinement.
yeah,
It's like it's um, it, refinement in the sense that who do we really want to listen to,
yeah,
and who do we want to speak to, um, who do we want to be open to. And I feel like Clubhouse, I mean, this is kind of weird, but I feel like Clubhouse has got its own virus now,
mm,
where there's just a growing infection
mm,
of just bizarre stuff going on.
mm,
And yet, a lot of people that I have resonated with initially through news.
mm,
That was my initial foothold, and through that I've met so many people and I've listened to so many people. And Dr. Rao, I don't know if you were a direct result of news, but you were certainly related to any number of doctors that I have followed since and have attended their rooms and paid attention to. So it's become a kind of a refinement process for me, and it's just so interesting because for months I would never go into a room that had 3 people in it. But I saw you were there, and I thought, okay, this is someone who will not make me feel foreign or alien or out of it. But even though you have a doctor before your name, I felt comfortable coming in here. So I don't know what any of that means. It's me, stream of consciousness spewing, but that's where I am right now.
No, it is it's a natural thing how you are feeling, Cindy, because in the yoga real practice, what happens is you kind of identify people from the core, you know. So everything else is like a artificial layer, you know. So once you are knowing them from the awareness point of view, I don't see any other filters, you know. That's why I kind of relate with my patients very easily, and they can see the transparency, immediate acceptance, whoever they are, you know, because I'm not looking at them at all. I look at the disease, I look at the deeper awareness part of it. And that is the energy thing, you know. Abhishek, Cindy, Sundar, me, and all of them, we are united in that energy. We only identify with the mind, a body, and then separate ourselves from that energy. So probably that's what you are feeling. So it's a very natural thing, you know. So I don't identify with any particular category. So I am human being, earthly human being. So I don't even identify the countries anymore. You know, so that's why it's easy for you to accept me and for me to accept you too. And that is real yoga. You know, our individual consciousness mixing with the divine universal consciousness. Once you are there, actually it's a very healthy feeling, you know, because you don't have to hate anybody or you don't have to really get angry and all that, you know. But it's a subjective feeling of what I have and then what is projected outside, you know. It's a very important thing of the yoga because when the rishis said we are not animals just to have the hunger, eat, and then procreate and then die. We are intelligent human beings. That means we have a being that we need to get in touch with. But the mind that has come up from our heart kind of we identify and separate ourselves from that spiritual universal heart. All the meditation, all the yoga practices about going back to your spiritual heart, and that's where we are all are one, you know. And once you are there, you can use your mind for practical matters, but not in relationship to separate us by identifying it, you know. So I'm glad you found it because I didn't know that the Clubhouse has a virus, but people are complaining that a lot of glitching is happening. You know, when my friend Roshna the other day, she was saying it, she could not see anybody, and then everybody is really dropped from her screen. Weird things are happening, she said. Maybe that's what it is. For my room, I don't really go out and advertise and say, oh, this much. People come and I talk and then go. It doesn't matter much to me. You know. So, Sundar, welcome.
Hi, Dr. Rao.
How are you?
I was just listening.
Okay.
And I totally agree with what said the experts.
Any
My
questions?
2 words, Dr. Rao, I mean, the way you related the same thing to yoga is actually fascinating.
Yeah, that is real yoga actually.
What I know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. You see, even if you do Bhagavad Gita, um, if you study, or I don't know, Cindy, you know about Bhagavad Gita. It's a text that was, uh, also talks about yoga in a deeper sense. You know, But then they talk about two types of it. Not knowing this truth is the ignorance. From that ignorance, getting knowledgeable, that is just by knowledge you get into the state. You know, but the other way is by doing your work properly and by not expecting the results and by not really claiming that I am doing it. These two important factors are important. No ego, no profit motivation. Okay. Then through work, if you do your work, like I'm a physician, I'm taking care of my patients like that, then I have done yoga. And through that kind of work, I can also realize myself. Okay. These two. What happens is if you do the work like that, unselfishly, really not claiming an agency and giving it to the divine, and that leads to this knowledge, and that knowledge leads you to liberation. Those are the steps. The whole thing was explained in so many texts, And there is another important text about yoga is the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In that, he tells you first calm your mind and completely stop the processes that you have in your mind, and then you'll be able to see who you really are. That is kind of thing that is something people don't understand it. Once they understand it, they will be fine. And then to do that, there are 8 steps, and one of the steps is uh, this uh, uh, physical yoga. There are 8 steps. One is uh, how do you deal with the disciplinary way to the society and all that. That's one step. How do you keep your interior balance and all that is the second one. And the third one is this yoga postures. Fourth one is the breathing exercise, pranayama. And the fifth one is where you withdraw the senses from going out into you, and then you concentrate, you meditate, and then you merge into that meditative phase. So there are 8 steps are there. Each one we can talk about year probably. They're that deep, that very good. I usually give lectures on them. That's why my knowledge gets so pristine in that way.
So thank you, Dr. Rao, for that. What I would add to that is I had a very special teacher long ago. First of all, I am about 155 years old. And so I've been doing yoga
Yeah.
for many,
Yes.
many years.
Yeah.
And what one of my wisest teachers said to me once was, your yoga looks different every day.
Yeah.
So don't expect, whether you're speaking physically of your prowess, don't expect your physical practice
Yeah.
to look like it did yesterday.
Yeah.
Because today is a new day. And because yoga encompasses not only our physical ability, but as you were so beautifully speaking about, it's our meditation, it's our attitude.
Yeah.
So yoga represents our life.
Yeah.
And life looks different every day.
Yeah.
So how are we, I mean, today, not today, but maybe a few days ago, we learned about Omicron or
Yeah.
whatever it is, whatever it's called. Okay, so that's a new reality we have to live with.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like since COVID happened, life is accelerating, and our agility test is being accelerated. How do we maneuver around these obstacles that just keep popping up? And that's life.
Yeah.
And that's
See,
yoga.
I am teaching Cindy about not to panic, but be prepared and do whatever you can do. The main thing is you can not allow it to go from you to other people, and from other people you don't want to give a chance for it to come to you. Actually, if you respect the virus, it is leaving you alone. If you act vehemently, like, some people describe this as a divine power, and that's why it is so powerful and it's bringing the civilization to the knees. In a way, it is right. But then, what do you do as a human being is to not to panic, be aware and be prepared, and then do the simple things you can do. And then the struggle of the scientific community, doctors and everybody to find the treatments, they're all coming slowly. But this particular mutation happened because we have not given the Africa that much vaccine doses, and they could not vaccinate enough. And in the countries where they don't have the optimal vaccine, they have only 24-25% vaccinated. So not just that country, any country, even in this country also, people are not taking a vaccine. They are having this infection happen to them, and then the current rate of people who are dying is mainly because of the people who are not taking the vaccine. So we are allowing the spread by doing that. That kind of thing. But when you come to the, have you heard about this five-layer physiology of yoga? Cindy?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, it's called Pancha Kosha. That is five layers around our real self. If you understand that, I think it's much easier to put yoga into context perspective. So this is, yeah.
Yes, thank you. I know what you're talking about now.
Mm.
I am a devotee,
Mm.
but I'm not the best student in
Yeah.
the world.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You are doing the yoga, you have the interest, and you know about it. But it's only for other people also, we can talk about it. What it is in yoga, you are not just this body, even the body is needed for your vehicle and you want to keep it as temple, that's fine. But then you are not this mind also, but you are that underlying soul or spirit or self or whatever you want to call it. Awareness, these days everybody calls it by the awareness, because it is the seer behind the seeing. It's the seer behind the eyes and all that. It's the seer that makes you appreciate things and all. So what it is they came up with five layers that are kind of around this inner self, who you are, that soul, right? The first layer is our physical body. It's like a hardware of a computer. It is solid, and unless it is there, you can't do anything. But still, that's only physical soul body. That means the gross body, right? That is the anatomical part. That's they called Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya means born of food. Obviously, with the food, we get the body, right? And then within that body, there is so much energy going on, and that's the second layer, the pranamaya kosha. When we breathe and we get the energy, we kind of digest the food, and energy comes and all. Our whole body has a lot of energy, right? Without that, you can move. Without it, you cannot enjoy yourself and all. So that is like a electrical power for the computer. And then there is this body. Within the body, there is the mind, there is the endocrine system, there is peripheral nervous system, all this neurological mechanism that you have. That is manomaya kosha. That is a kind of a mind, that is your software. And then interior to that, your intellect, which has the discriminating capacity of seeing what is real, what is not real, like that. That's like your understanding of life, what your philosophies, everything it will be there. That's like they call that buddhi, but in English we call it intellect, right? That's the fourth layer. And the fifth layer is called Anandamaya Kosha. That means where your happiness, your sadness, all those, not just the feelings, but your subjective sensation of all that will lie. So all these five layers are divided into three again. One is Stula, that's a gross body. Sukshma is all those thoughts and nerves and everything else. And then Bija, that is your genetics, like your Bija means seed, your seed layer, right? All these three types of things are divided into these 5 layers, and they surround you. So the concept that they said was that kind of life never is born or never is dying. That comes and takes different forms of the body's minds as clothes, and then they leave them when you are dying, and they go away. Okay, that kind of. So understanding this, what happens is you don't identify yourself just with the body. Even the body has some pain and suffering. You can be distant from it. That's the thing. And also, the mind won't go all over because you can have a distance. You can see the mind, thoughts, everything as more like a uh, distant object, and thereby you can really be not be subject to the vagaries of the mind, going restless or going dark. You stay in the middle, you know. So that's the benefit of yoga when you really establish yourself in that, spirit. And then once you are there, you can come back, because you are realized, you understand what you are, and it's already there, but it's a question of realizing. There is another thing I think I should tell you guys, that the chariot, the horse-driven chariot that has, everybody. I think in the Roman pictures you have seen, but in India, ancient times, everybody rode chariots, and then that's the mode of going from conveyance, going from here to there, and also fighting in the war too. So what it is several horses are there. Um, for even the sun god also, they worship that he has a chariot with this one too. So what it is the physical body of the chariot is compared to our body, our gross body, right? So that has to be in condition for any, you have to go anywhere destination. And then all the horses are compared to your senses, and the reins that control the senses is your mind, the thoughts and all. And the driver is that buddhi, intellect. He knows where to go, where not to go, how to control them, how to control the mind, also how to control the senses too. And then there is the passenger. He is the one main body where he is going to go. He knows where he has to go, and he will direct all this. So if he has to reach the destination of where he wants to go, then he has to tell the driver correctly, and the driver should use his discrimination to go to the right place by controlling the mind and the senses. Otherwise, horses will go wherever, and the reins are not there, all over going reins, you cannot control. So that is the um, simile that they described in that particular book. Is it clear or is it complicated? What I said?
No, it's very, very complicated.
Yeah,
When we hear the spoken word,
yeah,
but I think when we just surrender
yeah.
and
You'll get it.
say, I'm going to be quiet
Yeah,
and I don't have to inject my intellect, and
yeah,
my intellect doesn't have to comprehend. I don't have to articulate.
yeah,
I can just be.
yeah.
And I think
Let you sink in. Yeah, that's true. That you do that. Okay, that's a good thing. So that is it clear to you?
Uh, Somewhere I missed on the simile when you talked about the
Yeah.
chariot and the horses and other things. Could you please repeat that simile?
That's a long one, though. Just I think about that, Sundar. You will get it. Think about that and compare it, and you will get it. It's very. Uh, uh, it's not like a description just for the sake of grasping with the intellect. It's like absorbing. It's called. You have to shravanam. That means when you are listening, you have to be, and then you mananam. That means your own mind exercise on that. That's a good way to do that. And then you will do nididhyasana. That is the true meditation or true observing whether it is there in my life or not. So all these spiritual things, what I learned was you got to grasp it with intuition, and then it will be easier for you. You will we'll talk about it. Coming to the other appointment, I'm trying to avoid a long discussion again, but we'll talk tomorrow again if you want to. Okay, Sundar?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, I will take leave now because it's already 9. I was supposed to leave by 9. But thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay? Abhishek, Cindy, Sundar, and everybody else in the audience too. There are Vijay, Brian, Ravichandran, and Jimmy. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Dr. Rao, Satnam, Namaste. Thank you.
It's okay.
Grazie.
Namaste. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody, on the Instagram and all the other channels too. I'll see you tomorrow.